You need to stop watching the tickers of the magnificent 7 for just 1 hour. Seriously, turn off the Nvidia chart. Close the Tesla newsfeed. If you are genuinely looking for alpha, if you are looking for that rare asymmetric opportunity where the market has fundamentally mispriced a business because it is looking at the past instead of the future, then you need to pay attention to what I am about to tell you. We are going to talk about a company that has been left for dead by Wall Street, a company that operates in a sector most people think is a race to the bottom. But while everyone was looking away, this company executed one of the most impressive structural pivots I have seen in the last decade. We are talking about Amneal Pharmaceuticals. Most of you hear generic drugs and you immediately tune out. You think commodity, no pricing power, declining margins, boring, and 5 years ago you would have been right. But looking at Amneal today, through that lens is the single biggest mistake investors are making. This is no longer just a generic drug manufacturer. This is a hybrid healthcare powerhouse that has quietly built a fortress of high barrier, complex medicines, and a government distribution network that is printing cash. The financial statements, specifically the 2024 annual report and the sequence of 10Qs throughout 2025, paint a picture of a company that has emerged from a painful restructuring and is now entering a phase of explosive growth. Let's start by addressing the elephant in the room. Why is the stock cheap? Why has it been trading at such depressed multiples? To understand the opportunity, we have to look at the scars. If you pull up the 10K for the fiscal year 2024, the headline numbers look ugly. There is no sugarcoating it. The company reported a net loss of $117 million. If you just screened for profitable companies, Amneal would have been filtered out instantly. That loss was even wider than the $84 million loss they posted in 2023. On the surface, it looks like a business in decline, bleeding money in a tough environment. But this is where the lazy money stops, and the smart money starts digging. When you read the footnotes of that 2024 report, you realize that the loss was not operational failure. It was legal cleanup. The company took a massive hit, nearly $97 million, specifically related to opioid litigation settlements. They were paying for the sins of the entire industry's past. They also had high interest expenses from a debt load that scared people. But look at the top line. In that same disastrous year of 2024, net revenue actually grew 16.7% to reach $2.79 billion. Think about that divergence. The headline says loss, but the business grew revenue by double digits. They were selling more products, gaining market share, and generating cash. But the profits were being masked by one-time legal charges and interest payments. This was the kitchen sink year. Management was clearing the decks. They were resolving the lawsuits, refinancing the debt, and streamlining the portfolio. They were taking the pain up front so they could run freely later. And that brings us to 2025. This is the year everything changed. If 2024 was the year of cleanup, 2025 is the year of the inflection. We have analyzed the quarterly reports from March, June, and finally, September 2025. The trend is undeniable. Let's focus on the most recent data from the Q3 2025 filing, because it serves as the confirmation of our thesis. For the third quarter of 2025, Amneal reported net revenue of $785 million. That is a 12% increase compared to the same period in the previous year. But revenue growth is easy if you are selling dollar bills for 90 cents. The real question is, are they making money? The answer is yes. And this is the pivot point. In Q3 2025, Amneal swung to a GAAP net income of $2 million. Now, $2 million might sound like a rounding error for a company of this size, but you have to understand the psychological importance of this shift. They went from a net loss of $15 million in the prior year's quarter to a profit. The minus sign is gone. The bleeding has stopped. And when you look at adjusted EBITDA, which strips out the noise to show the core, cash-generating power of the business, they are generating over $150 million in a single quarter. So where is this growth coming from? This is the most critical part of the analysis. If this was just a one-time bump from a flu season, I wouldn't be interested. But the growth is structural. It is coming from three distinct engines that are firing simultaneously. First, let's talk about the affordable medicines segment. This used to be called generics. In the old days, this was a brutal business. But Amneal changed the game. They stopped making the simple white pills that anyone can make. They shifted their R&D into complex generics. We are talking about injectables, ophthalmics, and biosimilars. These are hard to make. They require specialized factories and difficult FDA approvals. That means less competition and better margins. In Q3 2025, this segment grew 8%. In a market where generic pricing usually deflates by 5% every year, growing revenue by 8% is a massive achievement. It proves their complex strategy is working. They launched 4 new injectable products in just 1 quarter. They are not competing on price, they are competing on complexity. The second engine is the specialty segment. This is where the high margins live. This is their branded drug business, focusing on neurology and endocrinology. Revenue here was up 8% as well. The star of the show is a drug called Crexont for Parkinson's disease. The launch trajectory is ramping up, and because this is a proprietary drug, the gross margins are significantly higher than the corporate average. This segment is the profit multiplier. As Crexont scales, it doesn't just add revenue. It disproportionately boosts the bottom line. But the third engine, and this is the one that I believe the market is completely asleep on, is AvKARE. AvKARE is Amneal's distribution arm that serves the U.S. federal government, the Department of Defense, and large institutional buyers. While everyone is obsessing over drug pipelines, this distribution business is quietly exploding. In Q3 2025, AvKARE revenue jumped 24.5% year over year. Almost 25% growth. This provides a steady, recurring, government-backed cash flow that serves as a hedge against the volatility of the pharmaceutical market. It is a hidden asset that, if spun off, would likely command a much higher multiple than the parent company. Now, let's talk about the balance sheet, because this has been the bear case for years. Amneal has too much debt. That was the narrative. And yes, they do have debt. But look at what they did in 2024 and 2025. They refinanced. They pushed out maturities. And most importantly, as their EBITDA grows, their leverage ratio, the ratio of net debt to EBITDA, is coming down rapidly. The growth in earnings is organically deleveraging the company. They are growing their way out of the debt problem. And here is the kicker valuation. Right now, the market is pricing Amneal at roughly 1 times its annual sales. For a company growing double digits, for a company that has turned the corner to profitability, for a company with a high barrier pipeline of biosimilars, that is a disconnect. Usually, turnaround plays are priced as if the company might go bankrupt. But Amneal is not going bankrupt. They are launching products. They are expanding margins. They are winning government contracts. Management knows this. That is why they raised their full-year guidance. They now expect 2025 revenue to hit up to $3.1 billion. They expect adjusted EBITDA to approach $685 million. When a management team raises guidance in a macroeconomic environment this uncertain, it tells you they have visibility. They know what is in the pipeline. They know the orders are coming in. To summarize the thesis, you have a company that has successfully navigated the valley of death. They paid the fines. They fixed the factory issues. They launched the complex drugs. And now, they are emerging on the other side. The Q3 2025 report was the signal flare. The return to GAAP profitability was the proof of concept. The explosive growth in AvKARE is the hidden catalyst. And the launch of biosimilars is the long-term tailwind. The market is slow. It takes time for the big institutional tankers to turn around and acknowledge a change in narrative. They still see the 2024 loss. They haven't processed the 2025 pivot. That lag is your edge. You are buying the new Amneal at the old Amneal price. This isn't a speculative biotech lottery ticket. This is a real business making real drugs, generating real cash that is finally being run for profit rather than survival. The turnaround is real. The growth is here. And if you wait until CNBC starts talking about it, the easy money will have already been made.